Yeah, hi, Hirsch Saha here, just reporting from Wellington, New Zealand as usual. It's Tuesday, the 9th of February 2021, and here's a very, very interesting topic, a very interesting one that I've thought about for a while and spoken to a friend. I remember it actually started from a friend saying to me a few years ago that he thinks relationships are basically just a form of prostitution. Think about in a relationship, and I know this is a real generalization, but I'm sure a lot of people would agree with it. In a relationship, he picks her up, he drops her back, he pays for her meal and her movie, he buys her gifts, he says nice things to her, even if they're not always exactly 100% true. He protects her, he's always there for her, and he claims to be hers, and in exchange, she gives him intimacy. Um, you know, I'm sure some people that a lot of people actually agree to that. So what my friend was basically saying, that's basically how it works. Relationships are a form of prostitution, where basically men give women so many things, and in exchange, the woman give them intimacy or sex. And I definitely see a lot of truth in that, to be completely honest with you, but I don't agree with it fully. I think that if love is not there, if the relationship is really just based on that, where the man gives her things and then in exchange she gives him intimacy, if the relationship is just based on that, well, yes, then it is pretty much a form of prostitution. But when love is involved, then it's not. When love is involved, it's no longer give and take. It's no longer keeping score of who's given who more or who's given contributed this or that into the relationship, and therefore the other person has to make up for it in some way. When love is there is no record of that. There is no even care for that. I mean, both are in it fully, both are there for the other. When love is involved, it is much, much different, and it's definitely not a form of intimacy. And that goes whether it's just a relationship or whether it's a full-on proper legal marriage. And in this, by the same note, by the same token, even a marriage can be a form of prostitution if it behaves in that sort of way, where he gives her this and that, and in exchange she gives him intimacy. So it really makes you think both relationships and marriages can be a form of prostitution, and I'm sure certainly many of them or a lot of them are. Not saying, not trying to put a number on the proportion or percentage or anything like that, but certainly a lot of them are. But when love is involved, when love is in the mix, then it is a little bit different. Well, I will say it's actually much, much different, and it's nowhere near a form of prostitution. It is anything but. So yeah, certainly something to think about.